In all of NFL history, every team has had that one defensive monster. The Hall of Famer with the bone-crushing hit, the sack machine who made quarterbacks tremble, or the guy who changed the game and struck fear in offenses everywhere.
Hey! Came to work today!
Defense wins championships, and every AFC team has had a legendary stopper who defined toughness, leadership, and greatness. We're breaking down every AFC team's greatest defensive player ever. Some names are obvious, others just might surprise you. Let's dive in.
Hey baby, this movie is rated R. Adult language and violence, lots of it.
The Buffalo Bills. The 1985 NFL Draft changed everything for the Buffalo Bills. With the first overall pick, they selected Bruce Smith, an offensive lineman across the league didn't know what hit them.
It was tough.
Smith completely terrorized quarterbacks for 15 seasons in Buffalo. The sack man still holds the NFL record with 200 career sacks, and of those, 171 came with the Bills, making him the franchise's all-time leader by a mile. Smith made 11 Pro Bowls and was named first-team All-Pro 8 times. He also won NFL Defensive Player of the Year twice, first in 1990, then remarkably again in 1996.
It felt pretty damn good. It really did.
That kind of dominance over so many years is what makes him a true legend. The Miami Dolphins. At 6'6" but only 245 pounds, Jason Taylor looked more like he belonged on a basketball court than an NFL defensive line. But that unusual build actually became his advantage. From 1997 to 2001, the Dolphins made the playoffs 5 straight times, largely because Jason was wrecking offenses left and right. Throughout his 15 seasons, Jason sacked an incredible 70 different quarterbacks. Even the GOAT wasn't safe. By the end of his career, Jason had sacked Brady 10.5 times, which was more than any quarterback he faced. In 2009, Jason had racked up his 6th fumble return for a score, breaking Jesse Tuggle's previous NFL record of 5. The New England Patriots. Andre Tippett was the heart and soul of the Patriots defense from 1982 to 1993. As a 5th-degree black belt in karate, he brought crazy hand techniques to the field that offensive linemen just couldn't handle. Tippett's prime was something special. He made 5 straight Pro Bowls between 1984 and 1988, dominating the AFC East. But 1985 was his masterpiece season. With 16.5 sacks, he earned NFL Defensive Player of the Year honors and led the Patriots to their first ever Super Bowl appearance. When his career ended, Tippett had racked up 100 sacks. That's a Patriot record that still stands today. If you thought those players were legendary, just wait. We have more on the list that absolutely defined NFL defense. The New York Jets. The Jets found their defensive icon in a slightly undersized cornerback from Pittsburgh named Darrelle Revis. But what he lacked in size, he made up for with technique.
Every receiver, who's Revis going to be matched up on? If he's matched up on you, you might as well not even show up.
His nickname Revis Island wasn't just fancy. Revis was him. Ask Reggie Wayne about the 2010 playoffs. Revis limited him to just a single catch for 1 yard. Or Randy Moss in 2009. Revis held the future Hall of Famer to just 4 catches for 24 yards.
Week in, week out, regardless of who you put him on, they get zeroed out.
Revis ended up making 7 Pro Bowls, earned 4 first-team All-Pro selections, and of course won a Super Bowl in 2014. The Baltimore Ravens. For 17 incredible seasons, the General Ray Lewis wasn't just a player for the Ravens. He was the heartbeat of a franchise built on defense.
Never try to block me with a receiver.
Never.
I just want to see that from the back.
The stats, 13 Pro Bowls, 2,061 career tackles, don't even tell the full story. Lewis's real magic was how he made 10 other guys play better just by being on the field with them. That 2000 defense, giving up just 165 points all season, is still the gold standard for defense in the modern NFL. Lewis gave us moments we'll never forget. That 50-yard interception return for a touchdown against Tennessee in the 2001 playoffs that helped win Baltimore a championship. And, of course, the 4th down stop at Darren Sproles in 2009, a play that shouldn't have been physically possible. As Lewis himself said, "When I step on the field, it's on. I know it's time to go to work." And man, was he right about that. The Cincinnati Bengals. Ken Riley, who was nicknamed the Rattler, was quiet about his dominance, but his 65 career interceptions still rank 5th all time. Riley wasn't the fastest or most athletic guy. He won because he saw things before they happened, reading routes before receivers even ran them.
And I used to jot down information on the receivers that beat me, what moves they used to beat me, and I did it so that if I played them again, that I would make the same mistake.
In 1976, he picked off Joe Namath 3 times in what would be Broadway Joe's last Jets game. 6 years later, at 35 years old, he grabbed 3 interceptions against the Raiders, taking one back 56 yards for a touchdown. It took until 2023, 3 years after his passing, for Riley to finally get into the Hall of Fame. For Bengals fans, it was a long overdue honor for the greatest defensive player the team ever had. If you're enjoying this video so far, please take a second and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on exciting NFL content added weekly. We appreciate it. Now back to the list. The Cleveland Browns. When you talk of Cleveland Browns defensive legends, Clay Matthews Jr. stands alone. For 16 seasons, Matthew was the one guy you could count on. Matthews didn't try to be a superstar. He just showed up play after play, game after game, season after season. He led the NFL in tackles 4 times, but his biggest moment came in the 1989 playoffs. With just 3 seconds left and the Browns up 34-30, he intercepted Jim Kelly at the 1-yard line to seal the win. With Matthews leading the defense, the Browns made it to 3 AFC championship games, the closest they've ever gotten to a Super Bowl. In a franchise known for heartbreak, Matthews was the rare bright spot. The Pittsburgh Steelers. No one changed Pittsburgh's destiny more than Mean Joe Green. When they drafted him 4th overall in 1969, the Steelers were nothing but laughingstocks. By the time he retired, they had 4 Super Bowl trophies. He was the cornerstone of the Pittsburgh Steelers' legendary Steel Curtain defense in the 1970s. Green earned 2 NFL Defensive Player of the Year awards, was a 10-time Pro Bowler, and set the foundation for one of the NFL's greatest dynasties. The Houston Texans. The Houston Texans haven't been around that long, but they've had one defensive superstar, J.J. Watt. The Wisconsin farm boy showed up in 2011 and immediately changed Houston's defensive identity. Success isn't owned, it's leased, and rent is due every day, Watt explained, a mindset that got him 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards. His 2014 season was just ridiculous. He racked up 20.5 sacks, 5 fumble recoveries, and a recovered fumble for a touchdown, a safety, and 78 total tackles. Unfortunately, injuries cut his prime short, but at his peak, Watt might have been the most dominant defensive player we've ever seen. The Indianapolis Colts. Dwight Freeney was a game wrecker. His signature spin move was so deadly it should have been illegal. He recorded 7 double-digit sack seasons in Indianapolis. By the time he left the Colts, Freeney had 107.5 sacks and still holds the team record for tackles for loss with 113. In 2006, Freeney played a crucial role in leading the Colts to a Super Bowl 41 victory, finally getting a championship for a team that had been knocking on the door for years. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Tony Bracken spent his entire career in Jacksonville from 1996 to 2003 and quickly became a turnover machine. Bracken's led the league in forced fumbles twice, first as a rookie in 1996 and again in 1999. He also still holds the team records for career sacks with 55, forced fumbles with 28, and fumble recoveries with 13. Bracken's playmaking ability gave the young Jaguars defense an identity and helped fuel their early playoff success. The Tennessee Titans. Keith Bulluck was the heart and soul of the Tennessee Titans defense.
They don't give us respect, but we about to take it today. Why?
This legendary linebacker earned the nickname Mr. Monday Night because he saved the best performances for the big stage. Teammate Kenny Britt once told a story about Bullock's confidence. He'd show up to practice wearing Timberland boots, barely participate physically, and instead just point out what he would be doing on Sunday night. But on game day, he'd execute perfectly on every assignment he'd just taught. Bullock made the Pro Bowl in 2003 and was named All-Pro 3 times. In 2004, he tied for the NFL lead in tackles. Then in 2007, he set a Titans record for linebackers with 5 interceptions in a single season. Over his career, he racked up 1,088 tackles, 18 sacks, 21 interceptions, 15 forced fumbles, and 6 defensive touchdowns. The Denver Broncos. In Champ Bailey's 10 seasons with Denver, he completely changed what it meant to be a cornerback through a combination of athletic gifts and football IQ that drove quarterbacks crazy. One of his most defining moments came in the 2006 playoffs against New England. With Denver protecting a lead and the Patriots threatening, Bailey jumped a Tom Brady pass in the end zone and returned it 100 yards. What made Bailey different from other cover corners was his complete game. He tackled like a safety and studied film like a coach. In 2019, he became a first ballot Hall of Famer, making him the first defensive player in Broncos history to get that honor. The Kansas City Chiefs. Derek Thomas entered the league in 1989 and won Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was electric.
Hey! Came to work today!
In 11 seasons, he made 9 straight Pro Bowls, which is still the most in Chiefs history. He was named first-team All-Pro twice and second-team All-Pro 3 times. But in 1990, he set an NFL record with 7 sacks in a single game against the Seahawks. That record still stands today. Thomas finished his career with 126.5 sacks, the most in Chiefs history, and forced 45 fumbles, the signature Kansas City strip move. But the record didn't stop there. He sacked John Elway 26 times, more than any player has ever taken down a single quarterback. Tragically, Thomas passed away in 2000 from complications after a car accident. He was just 33 years old, but his legacy is still strong. The Chiefs retired his number 58, and in 2009, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. The Las Vegas Raiders. At a time when the Raiders built their identity on being the toughest guys in football, Howie Long was the perfect example of that hard-hitting style. Towering at 6'5" and packing explosive power, Long's 91.5 career sacks barely tell the full story of how thoroughly he controlled games. Long collected 8 Pro Bowl nods and 5 All-Pro selections throughout his career, but it was the 1983 season that truly showcased his greatness. That season, Long hammered quarterbacks for a career-high 13 sacks while leading a defense that powered their way to a Super Bowl XVIII triumph. The Los Angeles Chargers. Junior Seau's nickname, the Tasmanian Devil, perfectly captured his wild style, a blur of unstoppable energy who seemed to be wherever the ball went. During his 13 seasons with the Chargers, Seau strung together an incredible 12 consecutive Pro Bowls and collected first-team All-Pro honors 6 times. But his bravest showing came in the 1994 AFC Championship game against Pittsburgh. Fighting through a pinched nerve in his neck, Seau tallied 16 hard-hitting tackles and pushed the Chargers to a 17-13 victory, securing their first and only Super Bowl appearance. Seau set the Chargers' franchise tackle record with 165 in a single season. But then, Seau wasn't just a weekend warrior. As he put it, in order to gain the respect of your players in the locker room, you can't just perform on Saturday. You have to do it consistently during practices, meetings, and in the weight room. That nonstop work ethic made him the greatest defensive player in Chargers history and one of the most respected linebackers ever to play the game. But hey, do you know who the real MVPs are? Our subscribers who make all of this possible. If you've enjoyed this video and want more just like it, hit that subscribe button below. You'll never miss a drop, plus you'll join an awesome community of NFL fans like you. Thanks for watching.